everyone, my name is Mitch Brenner, and today I will be talking to you about CANDU power plants and how they generate nuclear power, along with a lot of safety features and some resources if you would like to do further research on the subject. So some of the reasons why I'm interested in this topic in the first place is that, first of all, I'm interested in actually going into fields involving alternative forms of energy. I'm also extremely interested in the area of nuclear energy development involving fusion, much like the energy reactions that go on in our sun. And I'm also concerned about the safety of nuclear energy, as most of the time it only gets negative reporting in the media, and we only ever hear about disasters that happen instead of successes. What initially surprised me is that nuclear power plants, in their most basic form, are actually not that different from, say, coal power plants or natural gas power plants that we see today. They both have a water supply for steam and coolant, a turbine for power generation, and a heat source for turning water into steam. Heat in a nuclear power plant comes from the fission of certain isotopes inside ceramic pellets, which are themselves contained inside fuel rods composed of a heat and corrosion-resistant zirca alloy. The main advantage of nuclear fuel is that it contains at least 10 million times more energy per unit mass than traditional fuels. The only downside is that the fission process creates dangerously radioactive isotopes of certain elements and must be contained and disposed of extremely carefully. While CANDU, the plants primarily studied for the video, stands for Canada deuterium uranium, CANDU plants can also run off other elements, such as thorium, thanks to its reactor's special design. The CANDU reactor unit, also called the calandria, contains both the heavy water coolant and the bundles of heat-producing fuel rods, of which the calandria can hold hundreds at a time. Also, the fuel rods are arrayed horizontally, so they can be accessed and changed even while the reactor is operating at full capacity. The calandria is also hooked up to the heat exchange system and the control and emergency shutdown mechanisms. The CANDU design has multiple ways of shutting down the reactor should an unexpected situation arise within 2 to 3 seconds. As you can see, the calandria unit itself is massive in comparison to a human, and in some cases similar in diameter to a Boeing 767 jet airplane. The CANDU heat exchange system takes the heated heavy water from inside the calandria and exchanges the heavy water's thermal energy with normal water through a system of pipes. This way, the radioactive heavy water that's been in contact with the fuel rods doesn't reach the turbines as steam. This leads to no contamination of water that comes from an outside source, and the turbine building doesn't need to be shielded. The water used for steam in the heat exchange can safely be returned to the environment should the need arise. Once the normal water has been converted to steam, the plant generates power in exactly the same way as any other power plant. Steam is directed to the turbine spins a shaft leading to a generator, which in turn produces electricity. The steam then flows from the turbine to a condenser, which condenses the steam to water, which is then pumped back to the heat exchange for use. In the event of the unexpected, the CANDU reactor has 2 different ways to shut down the reactor quickly and efficiently. One by extending rods into the reactor, the other by injecting a liquid nuclear poison, both of which absorb neutrons being released by the fission reactions. Both of these systems activate without human input and without power, and cannot be reversed without human input. Even with the reactor powered down, however, there will still be a small fraction of heat still being produced by the decay of isotopes in the reactor. It must therefore remain cooled at all times by the flow of water through the reactor core. If outside power to the nuclear power plant were to be lost, one reactor could power all systems needed to prevent any accidents from occurring. In the case that no reactors are operational, the power plant has multiple redundant backup power generators, emergency generators, and battery reserves to power essential cooling systems. Even if all of these systems were to fail simultaneously, natural circulation would still keep the reactor cool for long enough for outside intervention to fix the situation. Considering that I cannot possibly cover all safety specifications and scenarios in this short a video, listed below are some informative videos detailing every failsafe and situation which could occur. I highly recommend giving them a watch. A few things that I would like to give more research to would be the feasibility of fusion as a safe power source, as I was not able to cover it in the video, the possibility of nuclear energy powering space travel, and research into cleaner, less radioactive nuclear fuels. Here are all the works I cited in this video. And here are all the pictures that were used. Thanks for watching.